Welcome to Xtra presented by VDG Sports. I'm your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. Noobs, new listeners, people that's here right now, thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for trusting moments, time, or what have you on providing me the platform. Regs, back at it again. You know how we do. We do what we do. It is what it is. It's Manny being Manny, and it's all of the things that we say and we know. Come up with a name for it. This special bond that we share. Come up with a name for it. You can take a century. I'll wait. It's just that important. It is just that important. Enough time has went by where I can actually highlight this or tell this story and protect the guilty in the game and not necessarily reveal who it is. And they'll know though. And the other person would know. There was only, 3 people involved, assuming that I will eventually tell this story. Assuming I would. I might get there, but I'm definitely going to have to flush it out because just hopping to that story, you'd be like, whoo, there, the end, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It's all over and it's all said and done. But no, it's more intriguing in a sense that this, looking back, was definitely something that kept me up at night. And the whole concept of what happened and what occurred definitely kept me up at night. And it's not something that I regret because I told you how I feel about regret. If you want to live in that world, if you want to do that and play that game, that's fine. Whatever works for you and that's not bringing you down or not adding an extra load on your shoulders and making it harder and just making you feel not good, then okay. But I don't live in that world because I look at it as, and I see it as, that was the choice that I made at the time. Whether right or wrong, I made that choice. Would I would have made that choice now? With all of the additional intel and the additional information that I have and the personal growth that I experience, then that's a fair question. But to regret and to say that I shouldn't have did what I done at the time when I had enough evidence and when I had enough facts and things presented to me that I made the most reasonable choice for me at that time. That doesn't necessarily mean that will be the same most reasonable choice for me today. But also that's definitely not saying that there is a regret there. And you might think of it as semantics and just wordplay. Nah, that ain't wordplay. That's an actual concept and that's actual principle. Because it's not me wishing that I wanted to do something different or worrying or stressing out about something that I should have done differently when I didn't have all of the information available to me, when I wasn't fully aware of what occurred or what happened. So it's basically like, okay, now I have all the answers. I should bash myself in the past when I didn't have all the answers. No, I have all the answers now. So moving forward, if I'm presented with an occasion or presented with something like that fits that same mold, it won't be the same. It'll be different. And that's how I look at it. And that's how I view it. And so it's definitely not regret. It's learning. And you can say learning from a mistake, but it's just learning, period. Because there is really no right or wrong in it. And you'll understand more as I flush it out. You'll understand more as there's more meat on the bone. You'll understand it more as you open your mind's eye. Yeah, do that. Do it quick. Do it quick. And it's the time back in, definitely back in, at the university or Coolidge or college. I think I used to call it Coolidge at one point. And people was like, what? What are you talking about? What is Coolidge? And I got it from a movie reference or a movie that I saw, and I just started pronouncing it as Coolidge. And when I started saying Coolidge, even though it's not spelled that way, and I just came up with it and I thought it was cool and it made me laugh and it became an inside joke between me and a couple other people. But I definitely call it Coolidge, but that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. It was definitely back in the university. And as I recall and as I mentioned on several occasions, this definitely was not a party school by any means. This was not a party school at all. This was a smart person school. This was the smart people school, but somehow they let me in. Somehow they let me in. And most of you already know, if not noobs, hey, side note, I did not really do what I wanted to do or set out to do in that university. I wanted to be a doctor, but I realized early on, that it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. And so I had choices and I had decisions to make. And I suggest you go back and review the historical documents to figure out why that didn't happen and why it didn't occur. And I'm not going to find them for you. They are there. And you know what they say about the interwebs. It is in ink. Can't make it up. Can't make it up. So yeah, I definitely went to be that. And this is one of those schools where smart people went, and fortunate for me, they let me in. Fortunate enough for me, they let me in. It was definitely fun, entertaining, because me and my buddy, I guess you can say my best pal at the time, we were those guys. Yeah, those guys. Smart, edgy, I guess, real, but really misguided, I guess, sometime. Definitely didn't make good decisions most of the time, but the decisions were the best decisions for us at the time, or definitely for me at the time. And I blame it on being left-handed. Because he was left-handed too. And you know what they say about us lefties. It's righties world and we living in it. So we really have no control over what we say or do. We just go with the flow and live in your world. That's not what they say, but it sounds like that's something that they should say. But hey, we ain't here for that. And this is one of those, I guess I can do a little quick refresh. It's definitely one of those universities where the cool places were the library. And I definitely mentioned my fondness of the library, especially my little spot that I had when I would just escape from the world and just look out at the view and take a nap, because I needed a nap, because the night I was probably out and about. And when I mean out and about, I was at the tavern, the pub, the bar, sometime the local bar, or sometime downtown somewhere. But hey, it was definitely there somewhere. But when did you have time to study? In class, in the library, while napping. Because you know, when you write the book and all the key notes on the back of your eyelids, when you sleep, you see it. So you are getting and you're gaining that knowledge, not through osmosis, but you're getting and you're gaining the knowledge by actually reading. But you sleep. Nah, your eyes see the writing. The writing ain't on the wall, but your eyes see the writing because it's behind your eyelids. It's behind your eyelids. So I definitely did study I definitely did study, but as my orgo teacher would not belittle, because belittle is a bad word with a bad connotation, but after he would break out the numbers and the percentages of you as in him speaking to me, you need about this percentage, right? It takes this percent, and the amount that I put out in class is this amount. So where those circles overlap is the percent that you need to get the grade that you need in my class. Okay. Yeah, I went there. It was graded on, the entire class was on a curve too. So that helps. That definitely helped. But you ain't here for that. You ain't here for that. We're not here for that. That was just my way of saying that I did study. I did put in the work, but I didn't go above and beyond where I probably should have. And the cupcake classes or the classes that just meet certain criteria, yeah, it wasn't challenging. So that was sort of easy, I suppose. And yeah, it was definitely a lot of maths and sciences. You can't do the med thing without those. And it was early on where I figured out that this wasn't going to work for me for many reasons. And failing out wasn't one of the reasons. So let me just go ahead and squash that now. That was not one of the reasons. It was something else. It was more about people and actually caring about people. And I was definitely faced with a lot of people that was going to or trying to do something that I wanted to do. And I was in it for actually helping people. And it was something near and dear to me because I lost so many family members due to cancer. And so my thing was to do this. And yeah, it was one of those. But the more and more classes that you take, you see the same people because they are going or they're majoring. They have the same itinerary as you, basically. Because at some point you got to take those classes. And then everybody knows everybody because one, it wasn't that big of a university. And two, it was a nerd university. Or can I say that? Yeah. It was a smart person university. And the people who went out and actually had fun, and I use the word fun loosely, they stood out. They stood out. And so when you become known as one of the fun people, your name get bounced around, or you're known even more. So I'll just say that you're known even more. You get invited to a lot of things, a lot of parties, a lot of kickbacks, a lot of get-togethers and what have you. And I was just tagging along because I was that person, but I wasn't getting invited, or I don't think I was, but I always somewhat ended up there. But hey, I always ended up there. And while my attention was definitely focused on not burning myself out, but also being fun or having fun or being, I guess, that guy. It was also occurred to me that I definitely I valued authentic people as well. So there's a few occasions, and you can go back to check the historical documents on this because I definitely mentioned it. I definitely mentioned the one time where I went off on a person at a party, and it wasn't good. And I don't think we ever talked after that. Yeah, we did a couple of times, but it was never the same after that. It was never the same because everything that she was about and everything that she was portraying was fake. And I happened to I happen to say it in front of everybody when I guess everybody knew and never really wanted to say it or didn't say it. And so I said it, and there we are. But that wasn't time, and that definitely not what I'm trying to get to. I'm building up the momentum. I'm building up and painting this picture, because this was one of those places. And I definitely had associates. I definitely had a lot of associates, people that I just knew, or friends of friends, or colleagues, same class. But we all knew each other in a sense. We had the same classes, and it was a large number of people, by the way. The university was probably not hundreds, thousands, but definitely definitely big. And the number that probably filled in this category was, I don't know, maybe thousands or a little less, what have you. Hit or miss. Because there were teams, like the volleyball team, basketball team, the cheerleaders on the basketball team, the soccer team or the football team. So there was a lot of, I guess, cliques or groups within groups. And when you knew one person within the group, and it was always a circle. It was always a circle, and not the circle of trust. That's completely different. It's a circle of friends, and how it can overlap through certain groups. And it seemed like my circle, and I don't want to take full credit because I wasn't like the most popular person, or boss dog. I'm not trying to rewrite history here. Definitely not trying to do that. Definitely not trying to boost my street cred up to something that is not. I'm just saying that I was around, and for whatever reason I got invited, and for whatever reason I was able to attend certain events and do certain things because, I don't know, maybe my friend or friends of friends, or the circles overlapping, or being that guy who went out and somewhat studied. But I realized early on that the whole doctor thing wasn't for me. And it's because of the type of people that I started having in class, or knowing in class, or talking to, and hearing conversations, or having debates, or having arguments with what is the most, what's the thing. And it's not that I look at it now and regret any of that. No, or regret not following through. No. Definitely not saying that. What I'm trying to get at, or what I'm getting at, is the conversations or the entire thought process. Whereas I looked at what they were doing and the reason they were doing, and I didn't necessarily judge them, but things wasn't the same once I figured out. It rubbed me a certain way. It definitely, I'm not going to say turned me off, because I was never turned on. He said turn on. He said turned on. It just made me view them from a different lens. And now I'm definitely further along in life, more experience in life, and having a philosophical difference like that doesn't necessarily make me judge, because I don't judge. No judge, no. But change my observation of them because of that difference. I would need more and more evidence of them or you being a certain way before, hey, that's who you are. That's who you are. And okay, that's you. That's cool. Maybe I can be around that. Maybe I can tolerate that. Maybe, but there's enough there to suggest that the most likely outcome is that unless you are masked up, and masked up mean, you got your mask on for the world. And this is who you're portraying when you're out and about, and when you are not, and when you're in the comfort of your own dwelling, the mask come off and your true colors shine through. Angelic, bird-like voice. But I'm not there, so I can only go off of the mask that you put on, the show that you put on for the rest of us. And what I'm getting to is there were a lot of people that wanted to become doctors or wanted to do the doctor med thing for the money, for the moolah, for the francs, for the dollar bill, for the prestige that comes with it, and not necessarily helping people. And that sort of just made me feel some kind of way, because I was coming in it for a completely, utterly different reason. Am I self-righteous? No, I'm not. Do I have flaws? Yes, I do. Am I perfect? No, I'm not. Are there things about me that would rub other people the wrong way? Yes, there is. But does it make me a bad person? No. Does that make me a bad person? No. And it wasn't that I thought they were bad people. It's just that it didn't sit right with me, especially with losing people close to me around that time, or to cancer and different things, and having these people say that, hey, it's all about the money, and not actually caring for the person. Yeah, I didn't feel too good with that. I didn't feel too good with that. And that definitely pushed me in a direction. It was like, I'm not built for this. This is not for me, because all I am surrounded by is that. And I am the only outsider. And I know, maybe it was just my circle of friends. I get it, got it. But looking back on it now, faced with something to that, which I have been, but there's not enough time to go by for me to point that out. But if you know, you know. I'll be okay with that. I'd be okay with that, because the difference is what I value. I have my principles, and I have my belief system, and that's based in fact, not negotiable facts, not opinion portraying as facts, or things that just to make me feel good and somebody else feel bad. All of that being relative. But as I was saying, I appreciate the difference. If that's truly who you are, that is definitely something that's going to divide us and make me not feel any kind of way now. Because I'm like, okay, that's what we differ on, with the experience I have, and with the learning and just going through life experiences. I guess that I'd focus on the things and what we actually get along and agree on. That doesn't necessarily mean we can't bring up and we can't banter back and forth or have a disagreement, hardcore disagreement about something to that extent. No. It just means that I'd rather put my energy in something else, and that's not to necessarily mean that what's unspoken won't be spoken. 'Cause I could learn something. I could be challenged in a certain way that makes me think a little bit harder, think outside the box, or try to come up with the why. Try to come up with the whys and basically just force me to open the door a little more instead of shutting it and closing it and walling off and saying, oh, that's how you feel. I don't need that. Whatever. Peace, deuces. I am out. Because we all are going to have things that we differ on. We're all going to be happily wanting to believe we are right all the time. And when challenged about our rightness, it is an attack on us personally. It's an attack on us personally. So that's why I look at all that and I don't take it as a personal attack unless it's a personal attack. I take it as, okay, that is cool that you want to make all this money, make all this dough. But in the process, you're helping people too, right? It's cool helping people too, right? Or can you explain to me a little bit more about the tertiary, all of the side things that occur with you making all of this dough and what have you. And so it can just expand the conversation from a disagreement, or expand the conversation from a point of no agreement into other parts of knowledge, or hopefully knowledge. But who knows? The trouble I see. Anyway, thank you for listening. Check out the website at xtra.vdgsports.com. Once again, extra.vdgsports.com. This episode is not being sponsored by VinceDouglasGregory.com. VinceDouglasGregory.com is where you can keep up with me, my whereabouts, my well-being, and everything in between. Basically, all things Vince. There's a YouTube as well. Do what you do there. Like, subscribe, share, and turn on that bell. VDG Sports. That's the place. See you there or be square. You know what time it is. Peace. Oh, nope. Still no.